Hey everybody, I'm here with my friend Colette to discuss one of my favorite topics. Namely, how Christianity, which began as a small Jesus cult within Judaism in the early 1st century AD, rapidly expanded and evolved into a distinct religious movement. Let's discuss how this small group of devotees—
Hey, wait a minute. How dare you call early Christians a cult? I'm a Christian, and I find that term very offensive. Don't you know what a cult is?
Well, yes, I do. But let's talk about the word cult for just a second. In religious studies, scholars use the term cult to describe relatively small, often new religious movements characterized by innovative beliefs, charismatic leadership, and high levels of member commitment. Unlike its popular usage, the scholarly application is descriptive rather than pejorative. For instance, the cult of Isis, originally from Egypt, spread throughout the Roman world, offering a novel theological perspective focused on personal salvation and appealing particularly to women. We could discuss many others as well: the imperial cult, the Bacchanalian cult, and many others.
Oh, okay. I understand now. I guess cult is the proper word to refer to the early followers of Jesus.
That's right. In this short video, we will show how this small group of devotees of Jesus of Nazareth transformed his teachings into a universal religion that now spans the globe. We will explore the origins of Christianity from the resurrection of Christ to about 100 AD, focusing on the time of the Apostles, the conversion of Saul of Tarsus, the circumcision debate, the circulation of apostolic letters, and concluding with the martyrdom of the Apostles.
Thanks, Alex. Let's hand it over to Emily so she can dive into this fascinating topic. Stick around till the end for some great reading suggestions on this time period.
The resurrection of Jesus Christ is the cornerstone of Christian faith. According to Christian belief, Jesus rose from the dead on the third day after his crucifixion. This event, celebrated as Easter, validated Jesus' divine nature and teachings. The resurrection instilled hope among his followers and propelled them to spread his message. Following the resurrection, Jesus appeared to his disciples, giving them the Great Commission to make disciples of all nations. Matthew 28:19. This period saw the formation of the early Christian community in Jerusalem. The earliest church in Jerusalem was initially composed of Jews who had followed Jesus during his ministry. The apostles, who were eyewitnesses to Jesus' life, death, and resurrection, had the authority to declare doctrines and were recipients of divine visions that guided the nascent church. On the Jewish feast of Pentecost, the early church experienced an outpouring of the Spirit of God to empower it for its continued ministry. The book of Acts records these early activities, highlighting the communal life of the believers, their devotion to teaching, fellowship, breaking of bread, and prayers. Acts 2:42. During this time of the apostles, the early church faced both growth and persecution. The apostles played a crucial role in establishing Christian doctrine and practice. They performed miracles, preached boldly, and confronted opposition from Jewish authorities. One significant event was the martyrdom of Stephen, the first Christian martyr. His death marked the beginning of a wave of persecution against Christians, which paradoxically contributed to the spread of Christianity as believers fled Jerusalem and took the message of Christ to other regions. Peter was a key leader in the earliest Jerusalem church. His leadership was marked by his strong preaching and his role in significant events such as the Pentecost, where he delivered a powerful sermon that led to the conversion of thousands. Acts 2. He was instrumental in the inclusion of Gentiles into the Christian community, as demonstrated by his vision in Joppa and subsequent interaction with Cornelius, a Roman centurion. Acts 10. Saul of Tarsus, later known as Paul, is one of the most influential figures in early Christianity. Initially a zealous persecutor of Christians, Saul experienced a dramatic conversion on the road to Damascus. Acts 9. Blinded by a heavenly light and hearing the voice of Jesus, Saul's life was transformed.
Saul, Saul, why persecutest thou me?
Who art thou, Lord?
I am Jesus, whom thou persecutest. It is hard for thee to kick against the pricks.
Lord, what wilt thou have me to do?
Arise, and go into the city, and it shall be told thee what thou must do.
After regaining his sight and being baptized, he became Paul, a fervent missionary and theologian. Paul's missionary journeys were crucial in spreading Christianity throughout the Roman Empire. He started churches in important cities like Antioch, Ephesus, Corinth, and Rome. After establishing a church, he appointed trustworthy leaders to continue the work and then moved on to the next city. To support these new churches, Paul wrote letters, known as Pauline epistles, which are now part of the New Testament. These letters provided guidance on beliefs, ethical behavior, and practical church matters, and they were vital in shaping early Christian teachings and practices. One of the major controversies in the early church was the circumcision debate, which centered on whether Gentile converts to Christianity needed to adhere to Jewish law, particularly circumcision. This debate is vividly described in Acts 15 and Galatians 2. Jewish Christians, especially those from the Pharisaic tradition, insisted on the necessity of circumcision for salvation. However, Paul vehemently opposed this view, arguing that faith in Christ alone was sufficient for salvation. The Jerusalem Council, convened around AD 49, addressed this issue. After much debate, the council, led by Peter, James, and other apostles, concluded that Gentile converts did not need to be circumcised or follow those parts of the Mosaic Law that were unique to Jewish identity. This decision was a landmark moment, establishing that Christianity was not merely a cult within Judaism, but a universal faith open to all people. The circulation of apostolic letters played a crucial role in the early Christian church by promoting unity and providing instruction across diverse communities. The letters of the apostles, particularly Paul's epistles, were distributed among the churches and read aloud during gatherings. These letters, known collectively as the Pauline epistles, provided essential guidance and helped maintain consistency in doctrine and practice. In addition to Paul's letters, the letters of Peter, James, and John were also widely circulated. These writings were instrumental in addressing various issues within the early church and offered encouragement and instruction to believers. Peter's epistles provided guidance on enduring persecution and maintaining faith. The Epistle of James emphasized ethical living and faith in action. The letters of John focused on love, truth, and fellowship within the Christian community. The process of sharing and reading these letters fostered a sense of shared identity among the early Christians, uniting communities spread across the Roman Empire. This circulation also laid the foundation for the development of the New Testament canon, as these letters were later recognized as authoritative and included in the Christian scriptures. Through this network of communication, the early church was able to grow and establish a cohesive set of beliefs and practices that would define Christianity for generations to come. The martyrdom of the apostles served as a significant testament to the early Christian faith. According to tradition, most of the apostles were martyred for their beliefs. Peter is believed to have been crucified upside down in Rome during Nero's persecution in 64 AD, at the same time as Paul was killed. James the Greater was executed by the sword in Jerusalem. These acts of martyrdom underscored the apostles' unwavering commitment to their faith and inspired subsequent generations of Christians to remain steadfast in their beliefs, even in the face of persecution. Do you find this topic as interesting as I do? If so, I have some excellent suggestions to help continue your studies on the early Christian church. The Early Church, by Henry Chadwick, offers a comprehensive and authoritative overview of the formative centuries of Christianity. Chadwick's masterful synthesis of primary and secondary sources provides readers with a nuanced understanding of the complex social, political, and theological developments that shaped the early church, including the debates over doctrine, the power struggles within the burgeoning movement, and the cultural influences that contributed to its growth. Next, The Birth of the Church, From Jesus to Constantine, AD 30 to 3112, by Ivor J. Davidson, presents a detailed and meticulously researched examination of the critical period that saw the transition from the life and teachings of Jesus to the emergence of the early Christian church. Davidson's work covers a broad range of topics, including the spread of Christianity throughout the Mediterranean world, the development of Christian theology and liturgy, and the significant role of persecution and martyrdom in the church's growth, offering readers a deep understanding of the intellectual and spiritual currents that animated the early Christian movement. Rodney Stark's The Rise of Christianity provides a groundbreaking and data-driven explanation for the rapid growth and eventual dominance of Christianity in the ancient world. Challenging traditional assumptions, Stark draws upon sociological theories and quantitative analysis to argue that the success of early Christianity can be attributed to a combination of social networks, conversion strategies, and the inherent appeal of Christian teachings, particularly to those on the margins of ancient society. Finally, From Jesus to the Church, The First Christian Generation, by Craig A. Evans, offers a meticulously researched and insightful examination of the critical period that shaped the transition from the historical Jesus to the emergence of the early Christian church. Evans delves deep into the historical and cultural context of the time, exploring the diverse theological and social currents that influenced the first generation of Jesus' followers, and the ways in which their experiences, beliefs, and interpretations laid the foundation for the nascent Christian movement. This collection of works offers a comprehensive and diverse exploration of the early Christian church, providing a strong foundation for further study and understanding of this pivotal period in the history of Western civilization. I hope you find these suggestions as engaging and enlightening as I do.